now you take the time to drink.
Yeah, I just did. I just looked at the clock and thought last minute, oh, quick, you better have a swig.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, boys and girls. How are we all this morning?
Well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm very well. A little bit chillier here than it has been, so I've got a jumper on today. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty good.
What does that mean? We don't get cold here in Western Australia. It's always quite warm. Very warm indeed.
Yeah. I've seen you wear a jumper once. That's something, I suppose.
That wasn't a jumper. That was a long sleeve shirt that I actually did.
Oh, okay. It's a difference.
It is a difference, yes.
Okay. I believe you.
Oh, ka-ching.
Ka-ching. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to get some sound effects, won't we?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll say a quick hello to who's in, and then you can do your news bulletin.
Yeah,
if
we
you
can go to the news broadcast and kick you out.
Yeah. So we have Bax was in first this morning, which is a change for Bax because he's normally got to drop his son off at school before he can come, but because we're half an hour later, seems to work better for him. And we have Cindy Brown in the house. Good morning, Cindy. And we have Sandra in the house. Hello,
Morning,
Sandra. And we have, His Highness. You may all bathe in my glory, for I have arrived. Oh,
good morning, Overlord.
Yes, Rob says, hello, everybody, in Overlord Octopus. We have Rach from UK to PNG to Oz. Good morning, she says.
Morning, Rachel. How are you?
Good morning, Recommerce Dave. Morning, everyone, and esteemed sea creatures. We shouldn't be building him up like this. Like, honestly, he's...
Why not?
Well, his head's big enough, I think. Octo says, I like the 10:30 timing. It shouts to get Macca's before breakfast ends. Yeah.
Well, you see, the thing is, when you make his head bigger, then one day it might explode.
Now, there's the thought. Okay. All right. There's the thought. Unwanted but needed says, good morning. I was running late. Well, you weren't probably running late because we started half an hour later. We have Jen McGonnell in the house. Good morning, Jen. Good to see you.
Jennifer.
And now Cindy says, thanks, Octo. I want Macca's now.
Well, you see, I still got another 3 hours to go for Macca's if I want to get breakfast, so I'm good over here in the West.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? Not for long. Once daylight savings goes, it won't be quite 3 hours. You only have 2.
Oh, looking forward to the day I can sleep in for an hour. No sleep in this morning, though.
No.
No rest for the wicked.
Yep, that's us. That is us. All right.
Morning, Adam.
We've got more. Oh, we've got Carl, media madman. I made it. Carl. How's Robin Lee on this fine Queensland morning? Well,
I'm bright and awake and everything's done, so, I can go back to bed now. I've made my appearance.
So you think. Adam. He says.
Morning, Adam.
Morning, Lee. Morning, all. Good time, but next week it'll be 8:30 a.m. for us. Yes.
Yes. Same time.
An
hour later for me.
Murray Max, good morning. Great way to start my reshuffling. Great way to start my reshuffling my death pile day. Woohoo! That's good job.
Awesome.
We have Wendy in the house too. Good morning,
Hello,
Wendy.
Wendy. Good morning.
And your shout for Macca's then, Rob.
Yeah.
No?
Do like good breakfast.
Yep, John Roberts as well. I washed off yesterday's dirt, had my breakfast, and now I'm ready for the roundup. Excellent.
Good morning, John. Yes, welcome to the roundup, everyone. And thank you for joining us today. And Kayfen, good morning.
Good morning, Kayfen.
So it looks like a few of you did enjoy last week's news bulletin. So I have been preparing and got a little bit more for today. So welcome to March 28, 2024. Happy to be bringing you these beautiful updates so we can get on top of everything. So first of all, I want to basically share my heartfelt thoughts and prayers to the Baltimore Bridge incident and all those affected there. It was just a tragic incident that happened there, and our hearts go out to you guys everywhere in the US and anyone that might be affected for that one there. That was a really tragic incident.
Yeah, really tragic. Yeah,
wasn't nice at all. So moving on to Australia news. So eBay Australia have finally put into effect the automatic removal of defects and negative feedback due to the flooding in Western Australia and the train line incident there. There is still delays in the Australia Post network between 1 to 3 working days additional for parcels to get over east and west and back again. Australia Post have advised that there have been some articles that were on board the train as it was going across, and that they have advised that they will be getting in contact with those customers affected. So hopefully it's no one that we know. I know that I do,
Yes.
which was coming from Amazon US, so that did get delayed. So hopefully that can come a little bit soon. But yeah, that did get stuck on the train, unfortunately, and it is taking a while. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another reminder for the Retail Fest coming up in Brisbane on the 16th of April next month for the eBay event. There are still tickets available, which is completely free for you guys. You will need to get transportation there, of course. I won't be going because I'm over here in Western Australia. It's a great event to be able to catch up with the eBay Australia team, and you can go through some of your metrics and go through a few of the other things that are available there for you. Really good event for you guys to look into.
Yeah, and look, I've heard, the feedback I've had from previous ones is, networking, people meeting each other seems to be the big takeaway from that. So,
yes.
Yeah, if you can get to it, go.
Yes. Another one for our US viewers here, that there are storms on the US mainland. Just be mindful of that one. It is causing delays there. And again, with that one, they are issuing removal of defects automatically, as well as removing negative feedback as well. That is also going towards us here in Australia if we are sending internationally to the US, because that is causing some delays. The Australia Post price increase. Just remember, guys, that is happening next week on April 3rd. Pricing is going up for stamps, going from $1.20 for a single stamp to $1.50. Make sure that you have your top-up stamps. I know that some post offices are running out in my local area specifically. It is difficult to get your hands on some of those top-up stamps. I believe that John was advising that they will be releasing some 30-cent stamps for top-ups, hopefully. That will basically help us, because at the moment there are 10 cent, 20 cent, and 50-cent stamps available. So 30-cent denomination would be awesome.
Yes.
Also, as well, just be mindful that your domestic tracked letters are also going up by 20 to 25%. So if you have the ability to try and stock up on those, if you do use those as well.
And get onto that today, because today is basically it, unless you've got a post office that opens on a Saturday, which is highly unlikely over Easter. So, so we've got tomorrow's Good Friday, and then, by the time everything opens again, the prices will be up.
Another quick one I saw as well, that the Royal Mail price increase is happening as well on the 2nd of April. They will be going up from 10 pence a stamp for their small letters there. And it is affecting some of their parcel services as well. So just be mindful of that the Royal Mail price increases for our UK viewers is going up on the 2nd of April as well.
So 10 pence, that's quite cheap, really, isn't it? For a letter?
No, it's going up. Going up.
Oh, it's going up that much. Oh, okay. Right. I'm with you now.
Yeah. No, the pricing is around.
I did say I need hearing aids. Hello.
Yes, the pricing is starting around £1.25 for a small letter, so it is going up by 10 pence, which isn't too bad. It's not as big as our price increase here, I guess. So yeah. And then an exciting new program that eBay US is launching at the moment, which is going to lead us in today's topic as well. eBay US have announced that they are launching a eBay consignment program for luxury goods. So eBay US is teaming up with Linda's Stuff, who is a eBay seller in the US, and they will be basically letting people to send their luxury goods in for specific brands only at the moment, and that they will be sold on consignment. So basically, the Linda's Stuff will be basically photographing, listing, and taking care of everything for you. The items are getting authenticated as well during that process, so it's nice, easy, and it's looks like it's a streamlined process there, which is great to see. Commissions are a little bit higher. However, they are starting from 40% going to 20%, depending on the value of goods sold. So 0 to 300 is that 40% range, plus a $15 admin fee on top of that. And then anything over 5,000 is that 20% as well. So it does seem like a good program, because basically Linda's stuff is basically marketing everything and doing everything for you that they are photographing it. They are doing their own listing prices, so you won't have a say in that. Unfortunately, it depends on how you want to do it, but it is very much a hands-off approach there for you guys if you do have access to it. For me, from what I can see, it looks like it's a great program for those who are new sellers or aren't confident in selling their stuff as well. That, pretty much all the risk goes to Linda's stuff there, and you basically set and forget. Just be mindful, though, that after 12 months, if the item hasn't sold and you haven't claimed the item back, then the item is forfeited to that seller. So just be mindful of that
Yeah.
one, that if you don't claim the item back in the 12-month period, it does get forfeited to that seller. So, no,
Yeah,
overall, that system looks, in my eyes, pretty good. So, yeah.
And making sure you get your item back if it hasn't sold seems to be the big thing to remember. Like, we talked about this a little bit, and I thought it's probably good for lots of types of sellers, and that is one, you've got your newbie sellers that are unsure and they've got something that they think is really valuable, but they're unsure how to sell it. How good is it that they can do that? And the commission is actually not too bad. Like, it's pretty good, quite reasonable. But then I also think your average seller, like your average, maybe everything seller or whatever, that sells just your, not those luxury brands all the time, but if you come across something and you haven't sold it because you're unsure and you don't want to, lose your money, and, so you're a bit iffy about putting it up on eBay, great way to do it.
Yeah. So, for example, for me being a media seller, first and foremost, it would be a very weird thing to then have, for example, like a Louis Vuitton keeper in my store, beside, my $10, $15 DVDs. So it is a good way that, it does give that buyer the confidence that it is being done. And, I think that they would be able to take better pictures than I would be able to do of that luxury good as well. And, if I were to sell that item, then I know it is going to go for around a couple $1,000. So, all the promotion, all the work is being pushed over to someone else, and then I get my, commission after, or basically my check afterwards. So, yeah, which then, it leads us to today's topic of, selling on consignment for family and friends. Is it worth it? Is it worth the hassle? So, yeah, so that's today's news bulletin. So thank you for listening for that one. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let us know if you want more, or if I can.
If you want us to keep doing that, or you want Rob to keep doing it, you let us know. Hi, Bronwyn. Thank you for coming in. Octo actually says, I'll have you know my head is proportionate to my other appendages. My tentacles are quite long.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much. Yes. Hello, Ping G. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Hope you're safe and well over there and not getting hit by any of the storms.
Yes.
Maya Koyama, hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Maya.
Welcome.
How are you?
Oh, she says, hi, Ping. So she must know Ping. Very good. Octa says, no one wants to meet me for some reason. Yeah, I wonder why that is. John Roberts says, able to buy stamps, 30-cent stamps from today. Like, we can get them today, apparently.
I wonder if it's on the Australia Post website.
Interesting. Have a look. And he says $1.50 stamps available to buy from today too.
Happy days. I want to go
to make things easier. I made a cake, or as I say, I made a red velvet cake because that's my favourite sort of cake.
Good morning.
Says, hi, Leanne and Rob. Would like to stack up on track letters. Alas, my cash flow, more like a trickle. LOL won't allow it. Yeah, and that's the hard part, isn't it? When you're, if you haven't got that cash flow in your store. And so that's why it's really good to try and build up a little bit of a,
it's one of those things that, if you're able to then be able to stock up, but, if you're putting it on a credit card, for example, then the interest rate would just completely eat away any of your savings, and it might not be worth it. So just don't go too crazy on that one.
Yes, true.
Yes.
Well, thanks for the donation, Octo. This is for my lobotomy fund, apparently. It's donated $14.99 for my lobotomy fund. Thank you so much, Octo. That's just amazing.
I can perform it with your bag of cutlery.
Don't think there's anything quite sharp enough in there somehow.
All right. Spoon will do the job.
Adam says, after watching Mel's video, kind of feel like I need more books to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I did watch that one this morning. It was awesome video.
I
It's
haven't
just,
watched it yet.
haven't you? It's a crazy amount of
No.
books that they have available, and yeah, she's doing some work for Tom at the moment. So
Very
that looks
good.
really exciting for her.
I
Yeah.
shall have to have a look at that.
Mm.
Beck says, yes, Adam, but you need to list them as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
I mean, I was watching the video, and that sausage sizzle looked amazing. It made me want to have a sausage sizzle for me and my staff at one.
Maya says, I have to say, I'm so confused with all these different programs eBay keeps announcing. They also announced some pre-loved partner program here in the US for clothes.
Okay.
Interesting. We'll have to catch up on that one. Carl says, do either of you sell commission items?
Yeah. So that was one of our things we wanted to talk about today is, if you do get approached by friends or family, what do you do in that situation? Or even if you get approached by someone else in the community that, knows what we do, for example, we do reselling, do we go ahead and do we, say yes and help them out or what to do? I've been approached and I've been asked a few times by friends and family to help them out. And now sort of my blanket sort of response is no. I think the biggest thing for me is trying to do basically explain how firstly eBay works, that it's not a guaranteed sell.
Mm.
Secondly, as well, is the being realistic about the costs involved. So that's one of the big things that a lot of people don't realize, that especially in media, you're looking at a final value fee with promoted listing rate of around 20%. So those fees are quite high, and then you have to tack on as well in sort of postage. So early on, I did have a friend who did have a lot of the sort of mainstream sort of DVDs in their collection, and they wanted them gone, and they wanted me to do it on consignment for it. Their expectations were a little bit high. When they had sort of Gossip Girl series, 10 Things I Dislike About You movie, and that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
the 10 Things I Hate About You is basically one of those things that doesn't really sell for such a high price. You'd be struggling to even get $5 for that one. And then when you take into fees and account of sending it across to that person, your profit margin's small enough already then to try and half that and share it with someone. Yes, it's no risk, but it's just being realistic with that person, that they want to get sometimes $5 for a DVD, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
For example, I struggle to sell Gossip Girl. I've sold it once internationally. That was a Hail Mary miracle.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Sold that internationally to a box set of the Gossip Girl through to South Korea. Made a bit of money on that one with the postage and on top of that. But yeah, you're struggling to sell it in Australia for even $20 there. 6 seasons of that, and it's just difficult. So it's just being realistic, and that's my personal experience, of course. So
yeah. So I've done consignment for a couple of people. I do still have some items that I'm doing for a local, and I'll call artist. So a lady, she produces items, and it's more to get her out there, I suppose. So I'm happy to do that for her. I am doing consignment for her. But I did have someone else approach me that had their father had passed away, and they had a lot of collectibles. But they were wanting to pay me 25%, and they kept the 75%. But, and at the start, I mean, this is very early on in my reselling days. So I thought, well, that's good. This is free items. And they were good. They were good collectibles. And even with what she originally bought me, I knew she had even better stuff. So I was thinking, oh, this is really, really good. But, you know, all the work that you have to do to get that 25% is, to me, it just wasn't worth it. And I did have to go back to her, you know, after a couple of times, and I said, look, this is not going to work for me. At which point she did come up, and we agreed that I would sell what I already had, and then we would, you know, call it quits, and she would try and organize something else. And I did say to her, I can help you. If you want to sell on eBay, I'll show you how to do it. She hasn't ever come back to get me to show her how to do it, so I don't know what she's done with the stuff. But yeah, look, it's just, generally speaking, the person that's coming and asking you to do it wants to get the bulk of the money, and they want the big dollars. And look, there is a caveat there, because if you're someone that's just starting out and you don't have much stock, and you've got someone that has got good stuff, I'm not talking what, you know, like your DVDs or whatever, but good stuff, maybe it is worth it just to get the stock and get some, you know, listings on the board.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is the communication aspect between you and that person is, you know, laying down, you know, the fact that all the costs involved, the time involved, and everything involved, just be open and honest about it. You know, don't try and hide the fact, you know, this sort of thing, and get those sort of realistic expectations put in place at the beginning straight away, and try and gauge their mindset, and to try and, you know, find out what their expectations are, and, you know, to try and see if you are aligned. So, you know, if the stars are aligned, for example, then awesome, fantastic, go for it. But if
there are times when it can be good, but
you just be mindful on that one, because, you know, something like this could, you know, destroy a relationship as well. That if things do go sour, then it can be a little bit sour in that regard. So it's just basically having that conversation with those people, and it's just how it is, I guess.
Mari wants to know, just checking over green and white cardex and envelope domestic letters with tracking going up. Yes. And Max did reply yes. So stock up now if you can. Now is the time. And then Maya says, consigning for friends and family on eBay is kind of complicated. You also have to explain to them the item can get returned within 30 days. That's right. And so when I did do it, once I'd worked that part out, I would not, like, I sort of said to them, I'll pay you once a month for your stuff. But then I said, it's got to be like the month after, to allow them to have that 30 days in case it doesn't get returned.
Yeah, so with the green domestic letter with tracking envelopes, they're going up between 20 to 25%. So if you do have the ability to, try and stock up for those ones just quickly. So, but don't go too crazy.
Don't put yourself in debt or wipe out.
Don't get yourself stuck in a hole. Don't, you know, put stuff on credit cards if you can't pay it off straight away, because any sort of savings that you get will probably be eaten away by any sort of credit card interest. So use what you can use, get what you can get, and be realistic about it. That's, you know, the main caveats about that one.
Yeah. And Wendy says, I occasionally sell for my sister when she buys something online that she doesn't end up liking. We go 50-50 after fees.
Yeah.
But she says she wouldn't bother if it was someone else. And that's fair enough.
So, you know, I know Wendy is part of the Discord, and we do have great conversations with her. So, you know, her relationship is quite a good relationship that she has with her sister. And, you know, the expectations have been laid out basically in the beginning, and there was a conversation before everything sort of happened. So, you know, it's not just, you know, I'll do this for you today kind of thing and hunky dory. It's actually having that proper conversation as well. So yeah.
And talking of siblings, guess what happened to me this week?
What happened this week?
Well, so some people may be aware that I've been, you know, discovering a few new siblings recently. And so back in December, we discovered, one of my brothers and I discovered another brother who actually happened to live in the same street as my brother in Melbourne. Like, weird, but anyway, strange things happening. Yes, anyway, he was traveling through Donald and stopped, and so I got to meet him for the first time.
He didn't try and run you down?
No, I didn't. He
Oh,
likes me.
oh.
He likes me. Unlike Octo, who says I try and sell nursing home residents and young people with facial hair issues. Oh, dear.
Oh.
And Dave says, question to the media sellers. Are you passing on the postage price rise, especially if you do free post?
Yes, it's one of your things you have to do. So I think in the first couple of months, maybe, not even that, you're going to have some people that don't realize that the price change has happened. There are sellers out there who don't realize their profit margins and, of course, are probably losing money already. And then with this price rise, we lose more money and they don't realize it until the very end.
Yep.
Be mindful of your costs. Be mindful of everything that is involved in your business because those are important numbers to be on top of. And if you're not
Yeah.
on top of your numbers already, then it's going to hit you hard because this is a big increase. It's 20% increase. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And if you're, there was examples we did in book club the other night with certain items, and John was kind enough to, put one of his lower value, give me an example of one of his lower value sales. And, on that thing, because he was actually trying to clear his store out a little bit, I think he was only going to make 55 cents profit. Well, take that 20% off overall, he would end up with nothing if he didn't take that into consideration.
yeah.
Kathan also says, I wonder what happens on consignment if an untracked item goes missing. Interesting. I don't know that you could do untracked on a consignment deal.
I mean, you probably could. It's basically just having that conversation with that person that you're doing the consignment deal for, and really hashing out all the details to begin with. That how do you want your item to be sold? How do you want it to be sent? And what happens in that sort of circumstance? Because you're gonna have to refund the customer, of course. So there's not going to be any revenue from that sale. So who takes on that risk? Is it going to be you, or is it going to be the consignant?
Yeah, that's a conversation you definitely have to have with them, isn't it?
But it's a conversation you to have at the very beginning. If you are selling items that have a risk of getting lost and you don't have any recourse to get those funds back through the extra cover service from Australia Post, then it is one of those conversations you need to have, and it needs to be written out at the very beginning so you have an understanding. It's very difficult when you're having this sort of deal that in between, if something does go wrong, that you try and pester the other person for the funds or the cash. That's not how business works in the real life. If something like that does happen and it's not written in the contract, then usually it is that organization or that company's risk that they're taking on, that they take on the loss there. So
yeah, and it is one thing that I would recommend too is having a written agreement between yourself, especially if it's not your sister. If it's your sister, it doesn't matter. But if it's not your sister, have and it's just someone that have an actual written contract. With both people's responsibilities and things within that.
Yeah, because in essence, basically, the person who's providing you with the stuff to sell, they're providing it to you with the expectation that you're taking on the risk and that you're going to keep their items safe. So when they do get, for example, from your place to the other person's place safely, but it all comes down to having that conversation pre even listing or even before the agreement goes through. Is having a what if sort of situation, and think of all the things out the box. Your business, what can happen in your business, and outline those sort of issues and those little quirky things that can come up, and outline them with the person that you're doing a deal with. So just make sure that you have things hashed out at the beginning, because it's very difficult and it can flare up tempers if you do it halfway through and little things come up, constantly coming up sort of thing. And, the other person might have the thought that you're taking advantage of them and that sort of stuff. So just be mindful of that.
And I mean, just from my experience doing it and from what we've heard in the Discord in different ways too, I think probably one of the biggest issues that comes up is that quite often the person that has, is prepared to give you the items, they think their stuff's worth a lot more than what it actually is.
Yeah.
And that can be a real issue. And you check the Australia Post website. They do not have the $1.50 or 30-cent stamps at present, only the 10-cent stamps, hopefully in the next few days. You think they would have had that organised, really, wouldn't you?
I mean, you'll think about, it is Australia
Mm.
Post, so just be mindful of that. It is not currently available, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
Maya says, Kathan, that's a good question. And even theft in the warehouse. True.
Yep.
Here, there was a huge break-in at Rebag, New York City location, which is a luxury consignment. Ooh, yeah, that would be a big loss.
Mm.
And I've heard tons of complaints about the Real also losing people's items too. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
But
to
they would
know.
have that written into their contract already, though, as to what
Yeah.
would happen in that sort of circumstance. So,
Yeah, true. Lisa, hello, baubles, blings, and needful things. Good to
good
have
morning.
you. Sorry, I'm late
Hello.
listening while driving.
That's all right.
Ooh, that's okay. We're
Just
just glad you're
drive
here.
safe.
Hey, yes, exactly. People saying hello to Lisa. Sorry, I missed the live on Saturday. I went to meet up. Oh, Lisa's live on Saturday. I went to meet up with my parents to finish my taxes because I use their TurboTax subscription.
Ah.
Okay, that must be a software you have in the US, I'm presuming.
Mm.
Hi, Lisa. Oh, Shaving Shane's here. I found my people. Hello, all.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shane.
Good evening, wherever you are, or good
Yeah,
afternoon. Hope you are well.
we do. And there's the Discord link if anyone is interested in coming in and joining us in the Discord.
Yes.
We do. And look, people that are already members of the Discord, keep an eye on those little voice and video chat rooms. We don't often put the video on, so don't think that you have to do that. But yeah, feel free to come in when you see us in there because we are in there a bit. There's a few of us that are in there quite a bit, and we come away with some great conversations and, have a bit of a laugh and sometimes get some work done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, the GG Discord, correct. Carl says, thanks for the responses. I love Rob's views on consignment selling. If I ever did consider trialing it, I think I'd run it at 50-50 split of profits. Does that sound reasonable? Yeah, well, my thought when someone asked in the Discord, I put 60-40 with me taking 60 because I'm doing all the work. They're not doing the work. You're doing the work.
Yeah. I mean, it completely depends on, what you're selling, the volume that you're selling, and the price that it's selling for. You want to make sure that you are getting your fair worth out of the situation as well. For
Yep.
me, if I'm doing high volume sort of, DVDs, it is a lot more work, for example, than selling just one item at a higher, sell-through price. So, if I were doing it, I'd ask for a much higher, commission rate of probably maybe even 70, 75,
Yeah.
80% of the final profit, because it is a lot of work involved that you are photographing a lot more items. You're then, having to do the postage and having to do all the customer service for that. So if you're doing a high volume of items with a lower sort of sell price, then your costs involved are going to be higher. So then you have to try and recoup those costs, and that unfortunately will be in a higher sort of commission rate. So it is all about branching that conversation and saying, to sell this item, I have to X, Y, and Z, just so that the other person knows exactly what's happening. And then, you say that, this item's going to sell for this price, and then this is what I'll be taking out of it, and this is what you'll kind of get. So having those sort of breakdowns in place and talking already about it, that's probably the main things about it is having those open and honest conversations with the other person so that they know.
And I guess trying to get them to understand a little bit that it's putting stuff on eBay is not easy. It's involved, and we've become, some of us. Well, we like to think we're experts at it if we've been doing it for a while in our own little categories. But we've had to learn that. We've had to do all that, and it does make a difference. Yeah. And it's Liz's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you.
I believe it's happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yes, true.
Yep.
I should have put my blonde wig on if I'd known that.
Oh,
Shane says happy birthday. Everyone says happy birthday to Lisa. Yay. And John Roberts says, I've upped all my low-end media in time for the increase, but have a plan of bundling all the low-end CDs, DVDs, and video games. Correct.
that's the
Great way
thing.
to do it.
Bundle as much as you can now. Get yourself ready so that, when the change does happen, you don't have things that are making or losing you money to store for that changeover date. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah. And, look, the other thing is, and it depends on what you're selling too. So, but I think media and books, which probably can be classed as media, but, for me, I wouldn't sort of class my books as modern sort of media because it's all old stuff. But I'm finding the variation listings are and buy two, get one free for the lower value items at the moment. But I am going to be adding in some of the higher stuff in there as well. Works fantastic. I'm actually getting quite a lot of sales out of there now. Lisa says, thanks, guys. Always wanted to go down under. Hanging here is good enough. Yeah, it'll have to do for now.
Yes.
Well, Carl, thank you. $2 little thank you for your insights, legends. We're happy to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl.
Not necessary, but well appreciated, let me tell you. King Jesus, hello to Shane. Rach says, it's nice to have some random chats while we're supposed to be working.
Well, I've done all my work this morning. I've done my postage is all done. I've done my customer service this morning. I've done everything from my stores. I'm ready for that. When this ends in 24 minutes, I can just run out and go to the post office, and that's my day done.
Well,
and then have a nap
very
again.
good.
Yeah.
I have one little task in between to do. So I've kind of got all my stuff ready, but today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a what sold thing. So so I've got to film that afterwards. So I can't. Yeah, otherwise I would have had it all done and all out in the
Have you
packing
sold
room.
any cutlery yet?
No.
Have you listed any cutlery yet?
No. But I'll tell you what I have got though that is coming up this week. So
the table there.
I have these two forks here, which I thought you'd enjoy. But these are a little bit different. And how are they different, you might ask? I don't know that they'll show up very well if I put it up to the camera. Let me see if I can get it to. There we go. See that?
It's very blurry. It looks like a stamp.
It is. So it is actually Ansett Airways.
Ooh, some airline cutlery.
Yes. And I've actually had these before, and I've actually sold them for pretty good dollars and pretty quick.
Yes.
So they were in the cutlery bag.
Two
of them.
So you've got 2 items of value out of how many?
Oh, there's more than 2, but if these are the 2 I'm going to list. I have got another. I'll have to find the other one. I did find one solid silver spoon.
Yeah.
So I can just keep that for the value of the silver. So that's pretty good.
Melt it down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. So that's a good one. And then the other one I found, what was this one?
Silver filled spoon, or is it fully?
No, it's actually sterling silver. It's actually proper sterling silver.
That's good waste.
Yes, and most of the souvenir spoons that look, these were given to me, right? So they were free. But most of those, I have actually gone through those and sort of divided them up a bit. And some of those actually have some not too bad a value. And I've listed all the ones that I've got that were in the that have got cases. But I've got some single ones. Now, they're nearly all silver plate. There are a couple of gold-plated ones.
Yeah.
And, they're getting old and a bit tarnished and all the rest of it. And I'm not going to polish them. I can tell you that much. But I'm going to put them in variation listings because, some of the ones, and it all depends, it goes on the top. There's all different types of tops. Yep. So some of them are pretty good. So, yeah, they will be going up very shortly.
Now I know you've been having some variation listings sell this week, haven't you?
I have. I have. Yes, I've been selling Enid Blyton books, and I've been selling William Stewart Long books, the Australian series.
Yeah.
Someone bought 4 of those with the out of the variation listing, which was
That's all right.
fantastic.
Happy days.
And then, well, look, it was probably outside a week ago now. Like I'm going to say it was like 8 days ago, but I did also sell another single book out of that Australian series. So that's 5 of those out of the 10 that I had gone, which is good. Lee says, yes, so good to jump on for a chat with like-minded people in GG's Discord. And you do learn a lot, like an old school pen friend, but instant no letters, no stamps required. True. It's surprising what we do learn. We do learn stuff. Wendy says, happy birthday to Lisa. And she says, thank you. Lisa says, thank you, sweet Leanne and Marilyn Rob. Enjoying
You're more than welcome.
Thanks, Wendy. And Wendy saying hello to Shane. And Ping says, happy birthday, Lisa. And Lisa says, thank you too, sweet Ping. There you go.
Yeah.
Lots of happy birthdays.
Yes.
So what have you picked up exciting this week?
Anything?
I
picked up a good Blu-ray set yesterday. I can't remember the name of it from the life of me. It's sitting over there in my processing file, of course. I've been going and sourcing things from eBay itself, actually, to be quite honest. So, yeah. So my new store is live at the moment anyway. So, a few weeks ago, I may have told you that I did open up another new eBay store. So that will be going. We've got the soft opening already, so we've been selling a few items already, which is good. So we've been selling a few Skylander items just to get the account up and running and ready to go. And then, on the 5th of April, we are going fully live, and we've got around 600 items sort of going live on that day at 2 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So
very good.
That'll be interesting to go into that marketplace. So, yeah.
It's still going to be a surprise what it is, or you can tell us what it is.
It is still a surprise. But I have been sourcing. I've sourced quite a bit of stuff for it, though, and it's been quite easy to source the items for this store, which has been quite interesting to see that you can. So it'll be another sort of bulk, sort of higher volume sort of business store that I have the processes already in place for the media store, which I can then transfer across to the new store. So it's not going to be a big stretch at all.
Yep.
But it's been quite surprising how easy it is to sort of source the material for this store.
I will admit, when you've been coming into the group and saying what you've been getting stuff, I've been a bit surprised myself. I thought it's sort of because I don't see that type of thing around here much, so it's great.
Yeah, well, I'll give you guys a clue. The stuff I'm sourcing in bulk, I'm buying in bulk by the kilo. So maybe that might give you a clue. It might completely throw you off.
Good.
I know that some things are sold by the kilo, but this thing, is nothing to do with that sort of original thought. So I think it will throw some of you off. Hopefully. So we'll be seeing how that sort of marketplace will go. Before opening the store, I did do a lot of research on Terapeak, the trend lines on there, which look on Terapeak before you start, going crazy and going into new sort of avenues. It is very, very important to look at those trend lines. Terapeak does give you a lot of information on not only the amount of sales, average sale price, highs and lows, gives you the amount of items sold, and it gives you that trend line, the all-important trend line, which you can break down to week, month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you can also do a custom as well. But you can really see those trend lines going up or going down.
And especially for some things, it is important to check those broken down months and stuff like that, or even in season, in quarters, because of the seasons, maybe they're seasonal, and you won't know that until you check that. So Maya says, my local Walmart is going out of business next week, I think, and right now they have the whole store 75% off. Nice.
Happy days.
So I went in there and picked up some stuff to sell. Oh, nice. So now we've got in some good guesses about what your Buying by the kilo, Rob.
Well, I think if I'm selling ice, I think that Australia Post would have difficulties getting it to the customer on time.
Mm-hmm.
Same as well for potatoes. They might,
Yes. Yes, they wouldn't be great, would they? They'd be heavy,
no.
I guess. Yeah. Wendy
Yeah, I'd
says,
like a
don't
kilo.
forget to give us a thumbs up. Granny and Rob a thumbs up. Yes, that'd be nice, please. Give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
Matt, hello, good morning, Matt. Emery
Good
says
morning,
Rob is
Matt.
getting into the book game.
No, I am not. I have books already, and I don't like.
Love selling them, don't you?
It's not a category I enjoy. I've done clothing. I've done books. I sell a few books, yes, but books are not my main thing. I don't like the way that books take up a lot of room and they take a long time to sell.
Yes.
So that's one of the things I don't like about books. But no, going back to the Walmart store at 75% off. I've been watching. I do like to watch a reseller over in the US called Resell Rabbit. He has awesome content. He is a liquidator over there. He quite regularly buys stuff from auctions by the pallet load, and he has done a few liquidations of stores as well. So it is quite interesting to
Okay.
see that sort of stuff, that the retail arbitrage sort of side in the US compared to here in Australia. It's a completely different,
Oh, it
marketplace.
is. Yeah.
We don't have the Amazon return pallets here in Australia because of Australian consumer law, that Amazon is worried that if we were to buy items from it, that it might hurt someone, that it is their responsibility. While in the US you have the bins there, which completely different to what we have here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of us, I think, that we would. I mean, you'd kind of like that opportunity once, wouldn't we? Like to go to the
absolutely.
bins,
Yeah,
and have also had the opportunity once to at least once to buy one of those big, the sort of big, sort of coffin shaped Amazon boxes, I guess. Rach says, "You're selling drugs on eBay, Rob."
no, that's against eBay policy. That's the prohibited items policy.
Oh dear. Sandra says she loves retail arbitrage. Sandra, the thing is, darling, you just love buying things, regardless of
Well,
whether
who
it's
doesn't
retail
love buying
arbitrage.
things? That's our job. I get paid by myself to buy things,
Oh, yes,
and
it
then
is
I
our job,
sell.
but some of us probably do more buying than we do selling, or
Yes.
no, we do more buying than we do listing. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yesterday I wasn't going to go. It was quite not the best sort of thrifting day on the Tuesday for me. So my main thrifting days for me is Tuesday and Wednesday when I go out and do my usual run. My Tuesday was not very good at all. I got maybe a handful of things to sort of resell, and it was quite horrible. And I was kind of down in the dumps. The Wednesday, my usual honey hole I go to, they had nothing. And, it was, do I go out to this other place, which is usually a miss? And this time it was a hit. It was a
Yeah.
major hit that, I got a huge amount of, value from this place. And, it's all media, of course, but,
Yeah.
when you're able to buy a box set that, you can buy for $4 and it sells on for close to $80, $90. There was another set there which was cost me 15, and that goes for 110. So, there was some really good items. The best one I got, there was a DVD Blu-ray series, like I was saying before. Got them for, I think it was $1.50 series. And they sell for the whole set 1 to 6 goes for just above 300, and this is all brand new and sealed.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
you're paying very little for that kind of, stock, and you're able to sell it quite high. And usually the store is, quite high price, and yeah, this time it wasn't. So it was, it was a salvo store, we'll go with that. So, usually their price are a little bit higher. But yeah, this time, it was quite good, and yeah, I'm quite happy for that. I actually did go there because I did get a few quality items there. That was, it was a worrying start of the week to find, not a lot of stuff for the main store. So
Yeah. And that's one of the other things that people, if you come into the Discord and you come into one of the voice and video rooms, that every now Rob's one and other people will occasionally do it too, that when they're out actually doing their thrifting, they might put their camera on and show us what they're buying or what they're not, which is good. So John Roberts says he thinks you're selling Lego.
maybe
Well,
Lego.
Lego.
There you go. Yeah. Ooh.
as people call it. Dave says, thought they called them bricks rather than kilos. Maya says, yeah, I'm not sure if they'll get the whole store sold by the closing, but a lot of the stuff there was already gone today. What will be left will be junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've sort of got to get in there when the price comes down far enough to make it worthwhile, but not wait until the last day when it goes like, maybe they'll do 90% off or something, because that's going to be the junk. Lisa says, yeah, the bins are likely to hurt the picker. Yeah. Oh, I'd love to do bins. It'd be so much fun.
Rach was talking about the sort of clearance sort of outlets that we have here in Perth, for example, yesterday. So I didn't know about this myself, but there are apparently a few of the thrift stores that we have here in WA that they have actual clearance centres, and I had no idea about it. But then she was also saying as well that the pricing for that sort of stuff is pretty much the same as the retail stores. So
yeah, look, it kind of blew my mind a little bit, the fact that, and I'll say it, it's Vinnie's, that Vinnie's, the one we were talking about, has actually got a clearance store. Like, why? Because you think to yourself, well, there shouldn't really be a need for an op shop or a charity shop, I don't think, to actually have a clearance store.
With the amount of stock that they do get, I do understand. And, you can get in talks with some of the larger sort of op shops to get sort of pallets organized for yourself, or sort of big bags of clothing or bales of clothing, because they do get a lot of volume stuff. So that's one of the biggest things. And, a company like, for example, Savers over East, they're not in Western Australia. They do the same sort of thing. They get a lot of their, they buy a lot of their stock from the op shops and the charities because, they have the ability to. And Savers is a big US brand, which is, here in Australia as well in certain states. We don't have it here in WA. I don't believe it's in Queensland, but they are opening up their first store, like I said, last week in Sydney. So they are expanding around, and they are a for-profit organisation. So, they're able to purchase items from the sort of charity stores and the charities to be able to resell on profit. So, it is available, but I guess
that's the bulks thing of being able to go in and buy like a bale of clothes or whatever. That would be good. But yeah, but ridiculous having a clearance store that's selling stuff at the same price as what it was in the normal store.
Well, you were able to get a few bags of clothing there, weren't you, the other day? On your journey, because you're going on a journey yourself, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Yes. So I did. This is an independent local next town over op shop for me, and they are an independent one, but they are really great because they are the ones that they want to turn over their stock. And so they do quite often have free clothes Fridays when you can go down and get clothes for nothing, because they just want to keep that turning over, and they get a lot of stock in. And I happened to mention them to them one day about the type of stuff that I sell, and they offered to do me. Basically, I got two of those the biggest stripe bag size you can buy. The plastic stripe bag, which would be about the equivalent probably of a small bale. I'm going to say. I can't wait. I haven't got heavy enough scales for it to see how much there is, but. Yes. So I'm doing a challenge to see how long it would take me to raise enough money from selling that stuff, which cost me $30 for the whole lot, to buy hearing aids.
So your initial outlay is 30, and what are you trying to get out of it? So how much are your hearing aids per hearing aid?
I'm setting the budget around 5,000. I think that's a fair sort of, in between. Not the most expensive and not the cheapest.
Yeah. Okay, so and how long do you reckon it's going to take to change and turn over that, palette of clothing that you got to hearing aids over and over? How long do you reckon that's going to take you?
Yeah, look, it's hard to say, because my idea is I need to get, and I am listing stuff out of that every day. I'm listing, sort of trying to get 5 to 10 items of clothing up out of that every day at the moment. But I need to get some of that stuff to sell and get the income from that, because then I'll be able to take that and go and invest it in some other items. Now, my thought is with that, I'm probably going to go outside the square and outside some of my normal stuff that I buy, and buy some more higher value items from with that money. So yeah.
As long as you promise me one thing.
Yes.
No cutlery. Repeat after me. I will not
cutlery.
buy cutlery. No.
No cutlery.
I will not buy cutlery. I will not pick up cutlery.
I will not buy cutlery. I've got to pick it up to eat with, though. Is that okay? I will not pick up cutlery to buy to resell. There you go.
Or if it's free, I will not pick up cutlery.
Well, I didn't get a choice last time. My daughter and her partner just dumped it on me and said, there you go, that's yours. You can have it now.
And what do you say in that situation? Stop.
I should have said take it back. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I could make lots of money out of it.
Yeah.
The Goodwill bin stores are pretty necessary here, I guess. People donate so much stuff and generate so much waste.
Yeah.
The alternative is to send the clothes overseas to Africa, which causes issues. Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, they do get a lot of inventory coming into them. A lot of it is junk, and it does get thrown away at the store level or the processing center level. But they do get a lot of stock, which they have to try and get through. And, sometimes the retail stores just don't have the capacity to get through it all. You walk into an op shop or a thrift store these days, and the clothing racks are just jam-packed full of clothes. And it's hard to even go through a clothing rack sometimes, because the clothes are so tightly packed on there that, you can't even separate things. So,
and I think it's worthwhile for us as resellers, if we're doing clothing, to, if you go into op shops and see that, because a lot of them will actually only have that season's stock out, and the rest of it will be out in the shed out the back. And then they swap it over, but they have to have the room to be able to do that. And they don't often have the room in the store to put it. It's often worth talking to them and asking them, can you buy stuff in bulk for a cheaper price?
Yeah.
They can only say no.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, one of my sort of conversation topics that I have with the op shops is, how are you going with budget? Are you hitting budget at the moment, kind of thing? And that can kind of stem on to, well, what if we kind of do a deal and I buy a bulk lot of things, and I get a lot of things for you, so it helps you hit budget. It's those sort of conversations that you have with your local thrift stores. Once you get, of course, to that level of, don't just go up there, are you hitting budget kind of thing?
Have a relationship with them
build
first.
a relationship first, and build that into the conversation of how are you guys going? Are you hitting budget? Are you hitting target? And if they're not, it gives you an opportunity to then, kind of work into the conversation. Well, do you have a few of excess stock that you want to get rid of? I'll buy in bulk kind of thing. If you give me a good deal, and you can sort of work towards that, conversations with your local thrift stores, see how they're going. Don't just go, straight for the jugular. Bring up it in conversation, and then, go from there. It's those main sort of, conversation starters that you have with the thrift stores.
Very true. Red Commerce Dave says a nearby vintage sells unsold Aldi stock. Interesting.
Yep, I know one of my local thrift stores, they do get some Amazon returns, and they are sorted out at the warehouse. So their return, or not returns, so when you sell on Amazon and your item doesn't sell, you can basically choose to have it thrown out by Amazon. So then those items for Amazon to then reduce their landfill costs will sometimes get donated to charities, because it's still brand new sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I've done it before. It was cheaper for me to get them to dispose of the item than it was for me to have it sent back to me and me dispose of it. And that sort of things, I already made my money out of it. I'm happy. I can let go of it. When you're getting rid of it, 10, 20 cents a piece, then, it's a lot cheaper than having it sent back to you for, sometimes more, 10 times that amount to get it back to you, only for you to chuck it away yourself. So, it's a great thing that they're able to get those and source those items from Amazon. They don't get returns; they just get the disposed of items, and then they're able to resell it in their charity store. So, it's a good little circular economy there.
Yeah. Kevin says, Savers is my rubbish bin. I give them all my junk because I charge too much. Well, yeah, and then you get a 20% discount, so it does work well.
Exactly.
Make a donation, yeah. Lee says, "Happy Easter all. Hopping off shortly to work, so need to get out of the PJs. Cheers, GG and Rob. Happy Easter to you too, Lee. Don't work
Happy
too hard
Easter.
today." Rach says, "Good Sammy's one was clearance prices. They have big bins full of clothes that you could have to dig through and
Okay.
sell them by the kilo. Nice. The Vinnie's clearance was set out as normal with normal prices.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
probably not
that's
the
typical
right
Vinnie's, Vinnie's
one.
prices, I guess. They do try and get the premium price out of everything. So it's just
Maybe
easier.
they think just because they've got like clearance center or something on the store that it'll make people think that they're getting a bargain.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So Rob says, "Happy Easter to
Mm.
Lee." GG, you know you can get them for free once you reach a certain age. Look, we know all this, but we're doing a reselling challenge, and the young ones go off and turn $2 into a car or something like that. I thought, and Brad and Jazz, they're turning their money into a trip around Australia. Well, I thought I'd do something more age appropriate for Grumpy Granny and go to hearing aids.
And where can we see your journey, GG?
On my YouTube channel, I'm doing it. So every Sunday, I'll be doing a review of
Yep.
and I'll show you the things that I have listed, so you can actually see what's in that bulk haul. You'll be able
Yep.
to see because you'll be able to see what I've listed, and hopefully, I'll be able to also show sales.
And are you going to have like a hearing aid, thermometer on the wall that you can color in
Yes,
as you go along?
I am going to do something along those lines. Haven't quite decided what form it will take yet, but I am. Yes, going
And
to
have
do
you
that. We need a
started your
visual
first
aid.
video?
Need a visual aid. Sorry.
Is your first video out yet? The
Oh,
first
yes,
first
it
episode?
is. So yes, the first one is. Yep,
Okay.
explaining it all. So yes. Yes, and look, if I do manage to get the right ones for free, then I can spend the money on a cruise. Win-win. Don't you think? Sandra, thank you. Sandra says cutlery can be good. So there.
Yes, cutlery can be good for eating with.
Catherine says hearing aids, you wear them for a couple of months, then leave them in the drawer for a few years. Well, look, they might be better than than having these, though. They might be good for doing this. I was thinking, Catherine.
Yeah.
Sandra says, "I'm going to buy cutlery if I see it at a good price." Our local thrift shop has clothing for half price, but I don't sell clothes. Maybe ask them; they might do you some cheap cutlery. Murray Max says, "Rob should record that mantra about don't pick it up for so many items that I'm drawn to, but aren't renowned good sell-throughs. I can play it on repeat at church fates, garage sales, etc." Well, yeah, it could be. You could have that as a like a ringtone that you can sound effect.
Yeah, one of my biggest problems I had early on was, you feel guilty walking out of a charity shop buying nothing,
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those psychological things that, you feel guilty that, you're not helping the charity out, But these days I have that self-control that, if there's nothing there that's good, then, I can sort of walk out and leave. So, one of the stores I went to yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, no, it was yesterday, sorry. They had 2 pairs of Hugo Boss shoes. Very nice shoes. Tread was all good. They probably needed a little bit of work on top. They were selling for 40 a piece, and they were comping between 100 to 150. But then I remembered, I'm not a shoe store,
Yep.
sell-through rate, work, the additional sort of thing, and then additional sort of changing the photo station around for shoes. So, it was then, put them down, move along kind of thing. Someone else can find these. They were beautiful shoes, very nice shoes. They needed a little bit of work to, make them perfect and shine. And the soles were good still, no smell, beautiful leather. But it was just one of those things of, put it down, not doing shoes anymore. So just move on sort of thing. And
yeah, because if you'd taken it home, they would have gone in your
I've got a
tub
box
that
still
you've
here.
already got full
Yeah.
of shoes and stayed there. So yeah,
Yep.
good move.
Yes.
Rach says, "When I lived in PNG, there are loads of op shops which are all clothes sent over from Australian charities.
Yeah.
As it's a very poor country, jeans cost about 40 cents. Tops are 20 cents. Nice.
Yeah.
You see people unpacking huge bales of clothes. It's amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Brad and Jazz did one a while back where they went through a whole bale and You know, it is
Yes.
hit and miss very much, very much a
Mhm.
miss. You do get a few hits in course of it, but,
Yeah.
bales have a smell. They very much do have that. It's hard to describe, but they have that smell to them. So,
It's a unique smell. It is a unique smell. I don't know. Yeah. Maya says, yeah, I saw articles about the clothing being sent to Africa too. The
yeah,
problem is so much clothing we trash is fast fashion
yeah,
and it falls apart easily. So we're just sending these countries junk. Yeah, true.
yeah, absolutely. So
Wendy
that's one of
says, what? I don't know, Wendy, what?
Well, looks like we got to the bottom of the chat there now, haven't we?
We have,
We're
and
5
we've
minutes
gone
over.
past our hour. So, yeah, we
Um,
can, yeah,
we can
it's
go to the
cool.
post office and get things done and have a nap again.
Mm. Yes, good idea. I think a
Yeah.
nanny nap this afternoon sounds very good.
Yeah, and then doing some more work, of course, because no rest for the wicked.
True. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we will
Thank
see
you,
you next
everyone,
week.
and happy birthday again
Yes, happy
to
birthday, Lisa. And everyone have a great Easter if we don't see you in the Discord in between.
Yes,
And drive safely if you're traveling to be with family and all that sort of stuff. And make sure you get home safe.
yes.
Hooroo.
Happy Easter, everyone. See ya.